welcome to the show. I'm Frankie-san.
And I'm Mark.
Okay, we got a lot to talk about. Obviously, tonight we're going to be talking about two major things. The two big 800-pound gorillas in the room. The Last Jedi, Star Wars, and of course Disney taking over 20th Century Fox. So we got a lot of stuff to count on. But real quick, this past Thursday, 25 producers got 25 awards, celebrating 25 years of community media production. That's the booklet they gave out to us producers. I was on page 3, 4, 5. They handed this out to us producers, okay? And then I couldn't fit the award in my bag. It was a nice award, nice and big. But can you see that award there? I'm trying to zoom in. And it's a really nice award, I gotta admit. I'd like to thank Manhattan Neighborhood Network for that. Let me go. People said, why so serious? Because I posted this on Instagram. And I said, okay, how about this shot? Is that a little bit better? Well, I do smile, okay? And the thing is like fiberglass. It's see-through fiberglass. That's why I posted the first one closer where you can see the name engraved, Frank Ball of Videoland Express on the Manhattan Neighborhood Network. Anyway, and I gave a shout out. We really didn't have time for people to make a speech, but there's a video that's going to be posted next week on my blog. Okay, everybody knows about the blog. I'm also going to repost my interview with Mark Hamill that I did about 15, 20 years ago. But I want to thank everybody on Manhattan Neighborhood Network for helping us out, production of the show. And there's one special shout out. And his name is Santos Morales. A lot of you remember him. He co-hosted the show with me for over 10 years. A lot of them remember he had like a little white stripe on his hair there. And he's doing good. He got ill. Everybody knows he got the Alzheimer's disease. And so he's retired. And I'd really like to give a big shout out and thank you to him for helping us produce the show. He's nicely retired and he's being taken care of by family and everything like that. So, like I said, it was great to get that award, 25 years. Technically, we've been on for 30 years. And this season's our 29th year. We're going to go into our 30th year next summer. In 2 weeks, I'm going to have another announcement to make. We got so many things to cover. So consider this a trilogy. This is part one of a lot of announcements to be made, okay? In 2 weeks, we're going to continue with the Golden Globe Awards and everything like that. And there's about 5, 6 movies that are coming out Christmas weekend. There's a lot of them. One of them is The Greatest Show on Earth. The Greatest Showman. The Greatest Show on Earth was an Oscar-winning picture back in 1960. This is about P.T. Barnum with Hugh Jackman, The Greatest Showman. The Greatest Showman, I got to get it right. There's a video about the making of on YouTube. And yes, I am in it. You can see me on that. I'm going to take a snippet, a screenshot, put it on the blog. People were asking me, Golden Globes, Wonder Wheel did not get nominated, Woody Allen movie. People thought Kate Winslet was going to get nominated. She didn't get nominated. But I did that movie, and I'm in the trailer right at the very beginning. I'm going to take a screenshot and post that, mainly because people have been asking me questions. I want to join, I want to become a background actor, Frank. Next show, we're going to cover that. And then the show after that, the third part, we're going to do the best and worst of the year. I'm going to give you a little sample right now so we can get right into Jedi. Justice League. Okay, let me do my Clark Kent over here. And real quick. So, because somebody got me and, well, they got me. Okay, I mentioned the big the big superheroes movies was Spider-Man, Thor, Wonder Woman, Logan, and Justice League. I said, Frank, you forgot Guardians of the Galaxy #2. That is true because I was going for the single, Thor, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man. So technically, at this weekend, Spider-Man, 880 million, #1. Guardians of the Galaxy #2, 860 million. Thor came close, #3 at 835. And right behind that is Wonder Woman at 820 million. They're all cleared over 800 million. Now, people can brag, said, oh, okay, so Justice League beat Logan. Right, Justice League, and this week is making about 626 million. It probably cleared like 630. That is the end of Justice League. That is it. That's the highest it's going to get. And it beat Logan because Logan only made 616. But
Why?
But Logan only cost less than $100 million. Justice League cost over $400 million to make. So Logan has the final word because that's 100% pure profit. And Justice League, well, let's put it this way: Warner Brothers in January, there's going to be a big upset, and the Hollywood Reporter, Variety magazine, is going to say it. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs in January at Warner Brothers. Goodbye. And then, of course, Disney taking over 20th Century Fox. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs in January because Disney's just going to take over that. We're going to be talking more about that at the second half of the show. Let's get right into it. That's a little wrap about Justice League. You know what the blog is. There's going to be a lot more information in the next 2 weeks, okay? I'm going to be telling more about what's going on with the music that I'm producing, directing, composing, or blah, 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 about the website, a bunch of things. The next show, we'll talk more about it, okay? Because we both managed it. This time, we actually managed to catch this weekend The Last Jedi. He's going to do the opening. I'm just going to say this. For me, 4 out of 5. Better than Force Awakens. Now, let's give. I'm out of breath. I'm going to take my sip, and he's going to give the big major review of Last Jedi.
Well,
so I can rest.
I guess, yeah. I would definitely say Last Jedi was better than Force Awakens. It sort of filled in a lot of the holes we were going back and forth. Okay, you give it 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
I would say on the average, it was okay. So 3 out of 5. It would be up
That's
there.
it?
Yeah. So it would be like, well, because Empire Strikes Back, I would give, for example, I would say New Hope because it was the first one.
Right.
Second one would be Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
And then I would say this goes neck and neck with Rogue One, for me. And I know some people don't like Rogue One, but I like Rogue One better because it had a finite resolution.
So these two are over Return of the Jedi with the Ewoks? Really?
Yes, because the Ewoks, for me, it sort of bummed the movie. Another thing that kind of bummed the movie, I hate to be a hater, but
you thought it was me guys, huh? Yeah. It's him this time.
Yeah, I don't want to be a hater, but I loved it, but you could tell Disney's hand in it. Disney hand in it when you see they were trying to manipulate certain things. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but they show it on like YouTube when they're doing look the Imperial hat. They show the pogs, or what they call those furry creatures that look like chickens. Chicken furry.
They look like dogs. They look like little penguins. They were cute.
Yeah, like
they weren't that much in the movie.
They're a lot.
Nah.
They're throwing them all over. It's sort of like subliminally. They're trying to tell Disney, it's like, we're trying to sell this. This is going to be the new R2-D2. Boom, boom, boom. And then, I hate to spoil it, but I think you saw some people seen the screen captures. Then they have this ice creature, this crystal wolf or
Crystal Fox, they're calling them.
Crystal Fox.
They only showed up at the very end. That's all.
But some people are like comparing it. No, I'm just showing you the hand of Disney.
Yeah.
Disney's hand, because
they got to sell the merchandise.
They want to sell merchandise. It's
of course.
To them, it's not about winning the Oscars. To them, it's about let's sell you the merchandise, toys for the kiddies. That's what I'm saying. That's what I didn't appreciate. They would have gone higher if they would have left that alone. Do art for art's sake. Don't do art because you want to sell toys. You lose respect.
They've been selling toys from the day one.
Yes, they do. Jar Jar Binks is an example. This is I'm saying.
So that backfired. Some people think the Ewoks backfired. The Ewoks works now. You know why? Because now you see the Ewok playing with Carrie Fisher not around, and that now the scene takes a different significance, and it brings back a lot of good memories. People like really get on the Ewok case. Look at Return of the Jedi, knowing that Carrie Fisher's not around anymore, and you get it's like a turn of a demon, and you get an affection. And don't forget. 20th Century Fox laughed at George Lucas when they said, "Can I keep the merchandising rights? You and your toys, keep it." He had last laugh. Okay, he bought half the state of California from little 12-inch dolls. Okay, and because of him, everybody else does it now.
Yeah, but he kept trying to push it. You got to remember.
Well, now Disney is pushing it.
It backfires. Think it won't backfire. It does. What was the best best indicator? They had this cartoon character back in the 80s called the Schmo. And they would put it out there, and they try to sell the Schmo. And then they try to put Scooby-Doo, they try to pump it up by putting Scrappy-Doo. And now every time something bombs, they talk about it on the internet, they say it's a Scrappy-Doo.
Right.
So they keep trying to throw Scrappy-Doos in there. Don't do that. Just make something good. If you make something good, it will last the test of time. If you make something where you make, hiccup. People like saying, "Oh my God, I'm not going to see
I
that
I,
again."
I didn't look at a film like
my
that.
example. This is what I think and I believe, and you'll see something that lasts a test of time is something that takes itself seriously or knows how to make fun of itself in a good way, but not something that ham-heartedly tries to sell you like, boom, let's sell the BB-8.
I brought it.
I know you bought it.
I got no problem with it.
I know, but I'm just saying that BB-8's okay. It's your R2-D2 character, but then we're getting into your Pokemon characters now.
Okay,
Your pocket
what does
monsters.
that label say?
Yeah, Lucasfilms,
Yeah, what date?
1980.
This is an original cap. Okay. Now, a lot of people thought, oh, Frank is going to tear this film apart because everybody thought I could barely fit into this. Okay. This is
Medium. It's a medium.
Yeah. Well, my head is extra large now.
Okay.
All the pasteles and pinning when I was in Puerto Rico. But yeah, I mean, I brought this back. This one they actually had the Star Wars shop. Okay, now that the Star Wars shop is by Amazon and Disney, I don't know how that looks, but anyway, yeah, I mean, this is some of the things that survived my collection. Okay, let me show you some other things I had. This is something that I wore 20 years ago, live on the show. Okay, this is still around.
No!
Yeah,
Phantom Menace.
Phantom,
Baby
remember that?
Darth Vader.
Talk about hatred. Okay, okay, and then this one was from back in 1977. It's so old the label fell off. But this is what I used to walk around. This shirt managed to survive over 30 years. Okay, and that's the Falcon at the end there. Okay, I had some other shirts that didn't make it.
Was it about the New Hope, or is that about?
No,
This is about New Hope.
no, believe it or not. See, a lot of people don't realize this was released when Star Wars first came out. It was never known as New Hope. When the film got re-released, and remember Mark Hamill, he had the Gilligan's Island hat, and he had conversations with his friend, the guy who got killed, the guy with the mustache.
Who's the guy with the mustache?
Was he red leader, gold leader? He dies at the end. He had more scenes with him, and those scenes got cut out.
Right.
You Star Wars fans know who I'm talking about.
You'll probably see him in Force Awakens.
No,
No, Rogue One. He shows up in Rogue One, doesn't he?
That's a good question. I don't know if he showed up in Rogue One.
Because a lot of the characters from New Hope showed up in Rogue One.
Right.
So like when they got the plans and they're jetting out.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. But anyway, look, Luke Skywalker's best friend is, and then there was it's in the deleted scenes on the DVD. It's oh, I don't want to be a farm boy. I want to fly up there. A lot of those scenes when the first original release, they got cut, and then they retitled saying Star Wars: A New Hope. This shirt goes back before A New Hope was released. Okay, and we're gonna mention something in a little while, but let me just show you this here real quick. This was the original Star Wars on VHS tape on stereo.
CBS, Fox. That's when CBS and Fox
Original.
they worked hand in hand.
But now, because
Now they're separate.
right, and of course the special edition. I'm showing that now.
Do you still have a VCR?
No, but I still got the taste, believe it or not.
Okay. Do they
But
still make VCRs?
imported. I think in Japan they still got it, believe it or not.
Oh.
Yeah, and same thing like mini DVD players and stuff like that. They're still making those. But anyway, my thing, 4 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
Okay, my thing was
Even though I think we're supposed to come up with a different measure, because eventually they could come back on us and say, you're stealing our measure.
no. A lot of people do
Star
5
ratings?
stars. Yeah.
Yeah, but we have to probably say probably 4 lightsabers out of 5 lightsabers, or 3 lightsabers out of 5 lightsabers, something like that. To change the star system.
8 light
protect
years.
ourselves.
8 light years out of 10 light years.
There you go. That's good.
Whatever. But as far as I'm concerned, my only problem with the picture, okay, and there's 2 things. One with the picture itself is they should have got off that damn rock on he's training her, and it's a half hour too long because there's too much of him training her, and he's trying to explain what happened, why him and Kylo Ren, who used to be a student, the story, blah blah, why the fallout. They show you some flashbacks, which was good, how they actually had that fight, but they spent too much time on that island training. That was my only beef. The movie is really tight. Yeah, there are surprises, there are cameos. The movie starts off really great. It kind of dips down because the training, but then Rian Johnson, who's now I know why they gave him the trilogy, and I'm getting to this point number 2. He does all these twists and the action. The last hour is one thing after another, non-stop. A lot of twists you didn't expect it. Somebody took a Star Wars T-shirt. It was on the internet and Instagram, and they set it aflame. So, oh, this is not my Star Wars. This movie sucks. Luke Skywalker should never acted like that. And all the characters like, hey, listen. Okay, first of all, it's a Star Wars fantasy. Going into my point two, Rian Johnson, the reason he got what they're doing is, okay, you talk about the merchandise. Disney said, listen, we're going to end this whole Jedi Skywalker family with the Force. And this movie is at the beginning of that. They're getting away from that. Okay, and they're going to wrap it up in the third movie. So that way, the next trilogy has nothing to do with the Skywalker family. It doesn't have to do with the Jedi. And it's in the movie and it's in the trailer, so I'm not giving any spoiler. And look, that said, the Force is with everybody. The first trilogy said the Force is everybody. You are connected with the Force. Rogue One has said, oh, he is one with the Force. We are one with the Force. We are one. You are one with the Force. I am one with the Force. They're not Jedis, but he said. What was it? The two Asian guys that said, and he says at the very end, I'll see you on the other side of the Force, or something like that. So the Force is with everybody.
Yeah, but you forget when Lucas, I guess, remastered Star Wars, New Hope, when he remastered it, it said, no, you have to have these neutrinos or whatever.
Midi-chlorians.
Midi-chlorians. You don't have them. You don't have the Jedi power, so don't even bother.
Right.
So
okay.
I mean, what do we believe now? Disney or Lucas?
Well,
do you have the House of Disney or the House of Lucas?
The House of Lucas is dead. It's the House of Disney.
They burned down the House of Lucas?
Yeah. Once they took over 20th Century Fox, Warner Brothers better start shaking. Remember I said, and we said this countless of times, nobody's going to Spider-Man. Avita Rod, I'm going to huff and puff, and nobody's going to take my Spider-Man. Shut up. We're going to take Spider-Man. We're going to put him into an MCU universe, and Sony, you're going to pay for it. How you like us now? Okay? And Sony said, okay, we're afraid of the mouse. We're afraid of the mouse, okay? And so they took over. They went after, Walt Disney went after Sony. 20th Century Fox, wrong studio. They went at 20th Century Fox because at that particular time, 20th Century Fox owned the master of Star Wars. Okay?
Smart.
Yeah. So when Disney...
Now they own that and The Simpsons.
When Disney brought the whole Star Wars franchise, they bought it from Lucasfilm. Lucas did not own the master for Star Wars, the original Star Wars, before it even became A New Hope. It was 20th Century Fox because they gave him the money. So the whole package deal said, you take over Lucasfilm, here it is, $400 billion, whatever it costs, but you do not own the original Star Wars. Now, Disney is going to release the original Star Wars before the fancy editing, when Han Solo steps on Jabba the Hutt's tail, all that. They're going to go back to the original. Okay, remember this fancy scene on the planet Tatooine? You get all these creatures and stuff like that. They're going to go to the original master. Forget about the special edition. They're going to re-release it in the movie houses. They're going to re-release it in 3D. They're going to go release it in a 4K. They're going to milk this damn film for all it's worth, okay?
And then they're going to get rid of the midi-chlorians.
They're probably going to get rid of midi-chlorians so they can go, listen.
And now everybody has it.
Yeah, anybody can be connected with the Force. Yeah, and there is a plot point in the film. They kind of pushed that. I'm not going to say it. Okay, no spoilers. For me, you'll enjoy the film. I don't know what is with the hate. Okay, the cantina scene. It's supposed to be a gambling casino. They said, they're wasting too much time. Not enough time. You don't get to see. But check out the scene very carefully because when you get introduced to this casino, Las Vegas kind of thing, the director was very clever. He uses a Martin Scorsese camera trick. Nobody is catching that. And all the reviews I'm reading, did anybody notice that? Goodfellas. Martin Scorsese, Goodfellas. They go, and Ray Liotta and his boys, they get out of the car, and they don't go through the front entrance of this restaurant. They go through the side entrance. They go through the kitchen, and the camera's following them. Through the kitchen, the waiters are passing by, the cook, they're cooking, the camera goes by. Then you see in the back of the restaurant, and they're walking to the table, and you see customers coming back and forth, the waiters putting foods on different tables, and the camera's going through here. So Stacey did 40 takes because people kept on bumping into the camera. Kept on going in, right up to the sit at the main table. Rian Johnson does a great camera trick, and it's a one shot where he actually uses that to go through the casino, and all of a sudden, there goes Finn said, I'm here. Great shot. From what I heard, that was an actual take. And I was very surprised for that. And nobody's picking that up, okay?
Yeah, but they always lie about that. They always lie about the one shot take. And they say that's a lie because what they really do sometimes, they go through a certain segment and then they block the camera. You know, they have someone pass by it
Right.
and then they continue the shot. Then someone else passes by it, they continue the shot. So in reality, it's not one take. They did it on Birdman.
Right. Birdman, they did it all the time.
Yeah, they did it on a lot of Alfred Hitchcock where they make you think it's one take, but they keep blocking the camera because it's various different takes, and then they just edit it together.
Right.
And they talk about this a lot. It's one of the oldest tricks in the book, so now I exposed it.
Yeah, but the
And the
Scorsese.
same thing with Scorsese. Like,
No,
when you see
Scorsese was
like-
real. That
yeah,
was a real
but listen
shot.
to this. There's a funniest thing about I've been to the Copacabana and where they had that movie Goodfellas, and I don't understand why did they go through the kitchen? It makes no sense. Even in that point in the Copacabana, if you wanted to jump ahead of the line, you would be able to jump ahead of the line. I mean, you know, like the doormen would go, yeah, sure, go right it in. I've seen that's how a lot of celebrities when I used to go to the Copacabana, that's the way they used to do it. Because you go through the kitchen, and the kitchen is small. It's not even that long, and the hallway is small. It's not even that long. I don't understand how it takes that long to get. Because when you get into the Copacabana, you get in, you take a left, and boom, you're right there in the center of the dance floor.
Mm-hmm.
But that long shot, I mean, it was like he was doing 3 laps around the Copacabana. You know, that's one thing I never.
You have to ask Marty about that.
Well,
That's his directing style. That's his directing style.
I just had to point that out that it's kind of odd because I've been to the Copacabana. People have been to the Copacabana. They go, that makes no sense.
But
It was a small club, very small. I think it was probably the size of this floor. You know, the floor that we taped the show. It was probably it was twice as big as that.
I'll bring the DVD about the making of movies, and Scorsese narrates about where he got the influence. That scene was actually was from a cowboy movie, black and white cowboy movie from the 30s, when the camera goes right through the bar saloon, and a western, and he applied that to this movie, Goodfellas. And a lot of people steal that trick. They do cop out. As a matter of fact, I was with James Franco in The Deuce, and I was the one who got signed out to block. First of all, James Franco's handing me drinks, and I'm talking to the other waitress. And then for another scene, which was not used, I said, Frank, stand right next to the camera, and when I tell you, go across, go from left to right, because we need you to block the camera.
Right.
And that's what I did. And then so I blacked the camera. Okay, you'll cut, and then they moved the camera around, and it looked like it was a continuous shot.
Exactly.
They used that shot, a variation shot for another scene, but not for that particular scene. But I was actually the one who was blocking the camera, so I was physically there, participating in that. So I saw that for myself on the set. But there's a lot of things. What confuses me right now, I liked it more than he did. Those creatures, that's part of the business. And there not that many scenes of those cute little penguins. There's only about 2-3 scenes.
It's like they distract us so much, like putting their sad faces. Oh,
it was adorable. People were laughing. People were laughing. People got into it. That's what counts. As long as the fans get counting.
The audience.
My audience got into it.
The audience I was with, they weren't like laughing, and the kids who were there, they were like, "Oh my God, those are so cute." Because the kids who went there, like, they were 12 years old, they're like, what the hell is this?
Well, that's, it's like the circus for kids of old ages.
Yeah, that's.
So what's wrong with that?
Like the circus. Is it still around? There you go.
No, the Big Apple Circus is still around.
That's still around, but the greatest.
No, because
biggest show is in
no, because Peter went after them, and they finally got their wish. But all I can say is, for me, it's 4 out of 5. It just they spent so much time on that island, but I thought this is way better. Force Awakens. I don't know how JJ is gonna. JJ is gonna do the third part. I don't know how he's gonna top this.
Did he do Force Awakens?
He did Force Awakens.
Oh no.
Because the other guy, Colin Trevorrow, whatever, he wanted to do his own view. And Disney is very control freak. Well, and they said, no, we're not going to do it with your point of view. The same thing when the 2 guys who did the Han Solo movie, they got fired and they brought in Ron Howard. Ron Howard, can you, this is the way we want Han Solo to play out. Can you do it? Ron Howard said, yes, he got the gig, he got the job. They got it in the can within a couple of weeks. Disney is pretty much a control freak. So they brought back
So James
JJ.
Cameron could never work with Disney.
That's another reason they wanted a 2020 Fox because they can work with James Cameron, believe it or not, because they don't have,
Really?
yeah,
James Cameron,
they already
he
got
always,
Avatar on Disney World.
yeah, but James Cameron, he always overshoots. He goes over budget. He goes over time. He does things 100. He shoots like 100 times the same scene.
This is his franchise. They're not gonna, if it ain't broken, they're not gonna touch it.
Ah.
Okay.
It's gonna be something.
He's got
how
two.
long. Let's see
No,
how long till they fire him.
he got two top 10. There's gonna be two of the biggest pictures in the top 5 of all time. They cannot touch him.
Hey, people.
He
are
proved
firing
himself.
him already. I thought he proved himself when he did the Terminator, and they still fired him. You know, right after that.
Yeah, and where those studios kaput,
Of course.
and he's still around.
Because they're never gonna listen to the artists. They're never gonna listen to them.
James Cameron he's a different entity altogether.
No, I respect. I loved him. Aliens 2 I thought was the best out of the first Aliens film that he directed. Terminator, I thought it was one of the best sci-fi films of its time, and they still fired him from those projects.
Well, and those studios are going kaput, and he's still around. Now let's wrap this up. Okay. And okay, the other big 800-pound gorilla, which we're right in the middle of talking about it, they got Disney got Aliens now, and they got this straight from somebody on and part of 20th Century Fox. They didn't want to mention his name. It was in Variety magazine, and said what's going to happen with Ridley Scott, the next Alien part of the trilogy. They're going to concentrate on the
Who
AI.
knows and who
David,
cares?
the guy said some people, I'm getting fired. You're going to find out in January. They're not going to continue the Ridley Scott. That's why Sigourney Weaver with James Cameron and Avatar, they're going to go in that direction finally, hopefully. But the Ridley Scott Alien is pretty much dead in the water.
Yeah.
And we predicted that the same way we predicted that Disney was going to take over
And
20th
I
Century.
predicted that Disney was gonna take over everything.
And eventually it will.
And eventually they'll buy your own life rights. They'll buy everybody's life rights. If you're interesting, boom. They'll buy you up.
And what was it? Planet of the Apes?
We got 20 seconds.
Planet of the Apes is going to get a reboot in 2 weeks. We're going to come back and go over all the films that we got a lot of reviews. I'm going to put mini reviews on my blog next week. And we're going to come back in 2 weeks and go over more material on that. Everybody, thank you for tuning in for over 29 years. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.